Hi guys, so I'm very late with this video, but I'm going to be showing you all the attacks I did in my first 2 weeks of Artfight. My goal was 10, but I ended up doing 7. I'm in a bit of an art block stage at the moment in this 3rd week, so wish me luck. So the first person that I drew an attack for was Tringle and I attacked their OC Denitsa. I'm not quite sure if I'm saying that right. Denitsa is a 12-year-old farmer with Eastern European descent. They specifically mention it's Czech descent. So in her lore, she is deceased and she died in a fire that burnt her village down. Tringle said she likes to hang out in the woods and dreams of travelling the world one day, just like her auntie who was an explorer. And she has a pretty snarky personality, but is also very witty and does care about things. Tringle stated in the info that she would like to see the character in more traditional clothes, so I did some research, and the traditional Czech clothing is called kroj. I don't know if I said that right as well. But from my research, kroj is a traditional dress, and they have a lot of embroidery and lace, as well as some ruffles. The shapes in the skirt seems to always be a bit of a bell shape, and they tend to wear corsets and an apron. I'm very proud of this piece because I feel like I started with a bang, like the lighting and like the hair. I just really love how it turned out in the end. So my first revenge was against a Gyat master and their character Vivian. Now, Vivian has a live zombie syndrome, which is a fictional disease that Gyatmaster came up with, which is when an individual is born with a condition that makes their body slowly rot and decay. They are not a zombie. Vivian is a very optimistic character and likes to cheer up other people who have terminal conditions, and she likes to volunteer at the hospital and give support to children in care there. Vivian's main goal is showing that short life doesn't mean a bad life, and she isn't upset about the fact that she will die soon. So I decided to just draw like a headshot for Vivian. I kind of wish I drew Vivian like in the hospital, but I don't think I have the artistic ability to do that yet. So I just wanted to draw her happy in a little headshot frame. Now my third attack was against Sir Ramens. I hope I said that right as well. And against their character Bedlam. Now, there wasn't too much information about Bedlam, but from what I can see, she was an android created by another one of their OCs called Void, and they were created to be another right-hand man for them. Now, in their lore, another character called Abyss tampered with the programming of Bedlam and made her act out and not follow orders, essentially, so they ended up running away to a circus. And I did some research on Void, seeing as there wasn't too much on Bedlam. And Void is the god of decay and is the main antagonist and villain of Sir Ramens' story, called The Next. He usually sends other people to do his dirty work and wants to erase everything from the world. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun to draw Bedlam essentially like in an office meeting showing the plans on how they're going to erase the world? And same with this one, I kind of wish that I drew Void with her, just to have that bit of interaction to show a bit more context on what's going on, but I still quite like it. My second revenge this year was against Haruki Art. Look at this amazing drawing that they drew of Fiona, my OC. So I drew her character Bayan, I think it's called. Now, there is absolutely no information about Bayan other than her pictures. So she just looks like a beautiful woman who is in medieval times, living. She looks like she might be from the countryside, judging from her clothes. It doesn't seem to be very noble clothes, so I assumed that she was on the poorer side back in those days. She seems to have quite a kind face, but also a bit of sass and confidence, so I wanted to draw that as well. I decided to just draw her in a forest amongst the leaves because I wanted to experiment with some lighting, some darker lighting, because I always draw just yellow, but I wanted to try some bluish tones to the piece. My next attack was against Fish, and I drew their character Lucioli. This is probably my favourite of all the drawings I've done this year. So Luciole is an alien from a faraway planet who's come to Earth to research humans. She is the most social of the crew that came and is more than happy to help at anything. She's a very naive character when it comes to human customs and believes almost anything people tell her on the subject. There's a little bit more information about her on the page, but I didn't think it was relevant to the piece that I drew, so I'm not going to continue it. Now, I don't normally draw sci-fi characters, but I saw her and I just loved her colours and her design. And there was a Pinterest piece, which I'll put here, that I saw that I thought I wanted to emulate into the art that I drew. Now, the sixth attack is a repeat attack. I attacked Fizzy Fluff's characters Patrick, Ross, and Lola last year, and they filled my hit list in again this year, and I wanted to attack the same characters. So the three of them are a polyamorous couple. Starting with Patrick. Patrick is a 26-year-old man who has a manufacturing business. He has a bubbly and cheerful personality, but can also be very serious. From his pictures, I can see he has a prosthetic arm as well. Next is Ross. Ross is 23 years old and runs a prosthetic shop, which I assume is where Patrick got his arm from. And he suffers a leg injury that requires him to wear a brace. Ross is a quiet and reserved individual, which I tried to convey in the drawing. I hope it comes across. And the last is Lola. Lola is 25 years old and works as an alchemist apprentice. She is very energetic and can be headstrong and tempered, but also doting and affectionate to her loved ones. I'm going to be honest, a couple days after I submitted the attack, I had a look at it again, and I think I drew Lola better last year. In this attack I did this year, her eyes are a little bit too big for her face, but I think I'm going to make it a tradition of drawing these three characters every year for Artfight now. Okay, and my last attack, number 7, this is before I got burnout, is my revenge against Mellow Guts, but also an interaction attack against Chicky D. So this is my first interaction piece between two different people for this year's Artfight. I decided to pick Mellow's character, Wawara. I do think I've butchered that again, I'm sorry. But she is a 17-year-old cat girl living in the snowy mountains. She enjoys to spend her time outside in the cold alone and gets easily annoyed if someone is around her. Now, this is where the interaction comes in. Wawara loves absolutely any type of bird, especially chickens, and is super fascinated by them. So when I saw this, I instantly knew I've got to draw her with a chicken or some sort of bird, but I've picked a chicken, or chick to be exact. And I found Chicky D's persona whilst I was checking the chicken tag, and I thought it matched my vision perfectly. Now, Chicky D is Chicky D's persona, and there's no lore in her page, but her reference has all these different like emotions, and it perfectly displays what kind of character Chicky D is. So I didn't need any sort of help with that anyway. So I decided to draw Wara chasing Chicky D, basically like in a webtoon sort of style page, and I'm quite happy with that, how that turned out. Now, if you want to tag me on Artfight, you can find me on Artfight as Ronkel, or if you want to see some more Artfight attack, just subscribe. Goodbye.